Hey, what's going on YouTube? It is Rio here, bringing guys another video. And today's going to be a little different. I have some replays from my Legends Day the other day. I went 311, almost perfect, almost had a perfect day. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys and some of the changes I've made to my Super Bowler army that I think you guys will also enjoy. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, hopping into the first replay here. So I see this base, and how I usually dissect bases is I kind of just look for a good funnel, right? So I'm pretty sure I funnel down here towards one of the Invis or the Inferno Towers. Let's see here. Oh no, I went over here. Oh, that's right, because this is actually a better funnel than coming in over here. So I just cycle my RC. So I'm kind of like, okay, what do I do here? I should have just passed over here to this mortar instead of that multi-archer, but I send my archer queen. I send in my main army into the town hall here. The only thing I really have to worry about is this bomb hive, and I do pop my ward ability kind of early, just so I can power through that town hall. Luckily, I did not have to deal with any of the ice golems. My archer queen actually did that, so that was really, really clutch. So my army does kind of split up here, but that's okay. So I put my Dragon Duke down here towards the Revenge Tower. Then all these Teslas pop up. I'm like, oh man, that's not good. That's kind of a questionable Duke ability, but hey, that's all right. I try to what's the word I'm looking for? I try to just lessen the damage I'm having on my army by doing this, because I know I'm going right into a Revenge Tower. And luckily, RC and the Dragon Duke just absolutely clutch up right there. And then I'm looking around. All right, screw it. I could have swagged a revive spell, but I said, screw it. I don't feel like it. And yeah. Nice little triple here. And I got cleanup troops taking care of the other buildings. Very nice. And then I forgot there is a gold collector all the way up top. So, that's pretty good. Anyways. Very solid first attack, I must say. Very solid. All right, let's get on to the next one, shall we? All right, hopping into the next one here, we have a very common Legend League base that was kind of made to counter spam throwers. So I decided to enter this base a little bit different than what I usually do. I usually go on the other side towards the monolith, but I just wanted to try something different here. And it is very, very risky, because that bomb hive, it just killed my spirit fox. So it's not the greatest entry. I mean, no matter what side you enter from, it's not going to be great for you, just because of that bomb hive. So I just take out that little section there, build up a decent funnel, deploy some cleanup troops over here on 6 o'clock. I wall break my Archer Queen and my Ice Golem in, and just instant giant arrow. Kind of let my cleanup troops do a little bit. Then I do the same thing, Ice Golem wall breaker over here, and then I put my main army in there. CC troops are going to my Archer Queen. My Archer Queen just gets absolutely... Okay, no, she actually handled that pretty well. And then I just, ward ability here. I rage up my army. I put my Dragon Duke around 9 o'clock-ish. That's more like 7 o'clock. Pretty decent Duke ability there. Getting that other spitter stunned. And my ice golem's just putting in work from my CC. Enemy Dragon Duke goes down. We still have a lot of life here, so I say this base is pretty crushed. And then RC just takes everything out because everything's stuck in the middle there. All right, this one is my favorite base. I pretty much know how to hit it 100% of the time now. Even if I mess up my RC charge, I am able to recover it somehow by using my spears. All right, so I do end up messing up my RC charge here. So I just said, screw it, I'm going to recover that. So I send my Archer Queen with an Ice Giant, or Ice Golem, I mean. Ice Giant. Man, I'm so dumb. So I send my RC back in just a little bit earlier than I pop her spears so I can take out that Revenge Tower. Because if I don't take this down, my funnel is completely messed up for my Super Bowlers. So I made the executive decision to just take it out with my RC spear. Rage on my bowlers there. Freeze up those multi-infernos because everything's getting pretty cooked down there. Put my Duke on the Town Hall area. Kind of let him do his thing. And I insta ability just to give my main army a chance to get in there. I said, screw it, let's revive the RC again. I mean, I probably could have swagged the RC again, or swagged the revive spell. But it's just nice to have. I don't like playing it close. I don't care about swagging spells. I just care about getting the attack done. Swagging spells will come with time, you know? Or I just simply don't care. I don't know. But I just revive my RC to get that little bit more value of trying to get this base crushed faster, and everything just cleans up nicely. Very nice, very nice. All right, let's get on to the fourth attack now, shall we? All right, so a little change that I did make to the army is I obviously took out the Overgrowth spell and I added in Diggy. Why did I add in Diggy? Well, I found that the Sneezy Boogers were kind of messing with the Dragon Duke in a pretty huge way. You know how he gets his he loses his passive whenever there is something close to, like, within his radius, right? He loses that rage ability. So I took out Sneezy and I said, screw it. All right, let's try out Diggy. Diggy's a really solid pet. And yeah, Diggy's been putting in a lot of work. So without those changes, I mean, I don't know where I would be with this army. But anyways, I just wanted to make that be clear real quick. Uh, and I definitely feel like those changes alone made this army so much more powerful. And again, this army can crush a lot of bases in the meta right now. It's just about how you funnel with your RC. What kind of value can you get with your RC charge? So, all right, moving on to the fourth attack here. This is kind of a isolated town hall with a dual rage core. So I said, all right, how do I want to approach this? So I spent a little time just scouting, trying to figure out what the best course of action is. I'm pretty sure I come over here. Yeah. I come over here. And I redirect and just go straight for that Revenge Tower. Place another invis. I could have had a lot better invis placement there, I feel like. Place down some minions to start the cleanup. And then clean RC charge right there. We make a pretty nice funnel. Even though I'm going into a rage compartment, that does warrant the need of having to warden ability a lot faster, which I think is all right in my opinion. That's all right. Then I warden ability right there, rage up, and look at this. Look at that core. It's just gone, man. A whole compartment is just gone. And by the way, I did not bother boosting my Dragon Duke, so he's still level 17. I think the Dragon Duke is very viable as long as it's above level 15. I think that's a good safe spot for your Dragon Duke to be if you can't max him right now. Now, I can max him on this account right now if I wanted to. It's just, I don't feel like grinding the Dark Elixir right now. But I revive the RC again. Dragon Duke can pretty much hold his own a lot of these attacks. I don't really have to revive him that much. Unless like he's like one of the last troops, or I just need him to tank damage and get buildings down. So that base is pretty crushed. These kinds of bases are where the the super bowlers shine. Is where everything's kind of clumped up together, and those bowlers can just boom, all gone. All right, let's get on to the next one. All right, so this base is a little interesting. I've been seeing these bases a lot in CWL, and I've just been taking out a little corner over here near the town hall. So pretty solid RC walk so far, but I know this corner is just trapped to high hell. You see that giant bomb and on those bombs. So I decided to say, all right, cool. I'm not pushing my luck. It would be nice to get rid of a poison tower, but I wasn't really gunning for it. So I decided to send my bowlers in and my main army into that town hall area. Get some pretty decent value out of the ice golem there in the beginning. And I'm going to see some value over here from this ice golem. But I try to hold off the best I can on using my ability. Okay. I think that's a good place to do my ability. Rage up in the core there. But this is really bad for my army. I don't really want the CC to be pulled over here. So I waste a totem to keep that spitter from not engaging with my army. I start my Dragon Duke down here, but I think I needed a totem for him over there, just so he can get that like revenge tower area. So I decided to use some of my invis and my freeze on that revenge tower, because that's super rough, man. The revenge tower, saving that for the back end is so deadly, man. The revenge tower is so insane, man. But decided to deploy some cleanup over there. I'm not wasting my revive spell yet because I'm keeping an eye on my Duke. I want to make sure I have a revive spell for when he goes down, because he can 1v1 pretty well. Now, another thing about this army is that I think I found that the Angry Jelly sometimes just messes things up a little bit with his ability. So I said, screw it, I'm reviving the RC. And then my Duke just gets absolutely obliterated. That's the nice thing about the RC is that she has her E-boots and can just destroy all the skeletons, and it makes me so happy. So a 96% time fail, it happens. What can you do? But that's the only kind of bad offense from that day. All right, next attack here. Another pretty common Legend League base in the meta right now. So I'm pretty sure I RC charged down here to set the funnel. Yep. So I kind of put my RC in between the multi-gear and the mortar. And of course there's a Giga Bomb, but I mean, what else can you do? So my main goal is to just take out that monolith. And then I didn't realize my Spirit Fox died. And then I'm just hitting all those spring traps, so I said, screw that, get me out of there. Now I kind of let my Archer Queen set the funnel a bit better here. Now my RC does have a forced ability right now, which isn't the greatest thing, especially when you're on the outside of the base, but I mean, that's all right. So my army does split pretty bad here. Actually, no, my army stays kind of in the, yeah, they stay together. But I mean, they could have split super hard. So I put my Dragon Duke on the other rage compartment, or just around there, I should say. Everything's still looking pretty healthy here. So I just use some of those invises to lighten the amount of damage I'm taking. Put some cleanup troops over here. Then that freaking Guardian's just messing up my entire army, but that's okay because we got the Duke and the RC on her now. And that triples. And we swag the revive spell, which is pretty sick. All right, for the next one here, we kind of run into the same kind of base layout just a little bit. It's just tweaked a little bit. So I RC charge the same area. Nothing changes about that. Hit that tornado, which I think is all right because I'm kind of getting these storages down with my E-boots. So it works out pretty well. So my only concern here is getting that revenge tower down. Because if I can get that down, I'm looking all right. I'm looking good enough. And I can set the funnel pretty quickly with the giant arrow from the queen just to take out these low HP buildings. So I do that. I'm like, okay, we're looking pretty good for entry here. Now for this army, I always Ice Golem, Wall Breaker, main army, balloons, healers, and then everything else. I kind of use my Warden ability a little early here, but I think that's okay. Now my army does split quite a bit now because they're just focused on the king, and unfortunately the minion prince over there is just kind of messing everything up. Now I do apologize, and I kind of let the other side of the base just kind of get neglected, but I send my Dragon Duke over here onto this Elixir Collector, and he kind of just takes out everything that's in the vicinity because of the angry jelly. Now I did lose my Warden, unfortunately, but that's all right because it's not like I'm using Rage Gem on my Warden. I'm using Heroic Torch and what's it called? I'm using Heroic Torch and Eternal Tome, so I'm not really using Rage Gem. All right, now on to the last one. Here is another common Legends League base that I kind of that I've seen over the last couple of seasons. People still use it for some odd reason. Some people still use the one Itsu base. I still see that one all the time. Very, very weird how that still happens, but hey, what can you do? So I just RC charged the bottom corner down here. I can set a pretty decent funnel. Now I did accidentally invis the scatter shot, which kind of doesn't do me any good. So I said, screw getting that scatter shot. I'm just gonna recall there. So I send my giant arrow to trigger that invis, and I just send my main army in. Now my Archer Queen will trigger the CC, which is alright. Luckily, there was only one headhunter in there, so she didn't get X'd off. But I'm just kind of waiting a minute. Alright, I used my ability right then and there. So I just kind of, a couple bowlers split off to get the core there, which I think worked out fantastic. You could just see how good these bowlers are. And then I sent in my Dragon Duke on the other side of where our RC charged, and I stunned. So the bomb hive really isn't doing anything. And yeah, my bowler just takes out that bomb hive and just clutches up. And that's all of that. And we swagged a revive spell, which is pretty cool. So everybody's just cleaning up right now. Takes absolutely forever. My warden's stuck on a wall to help my bowlers get out. Anyways, another triple. So we end that day with 311 on offense. So we did gain quite a bit of trophies. I was at the 5350 range. I think that's what I reset at that day. So yeah, this army does insanely well. It's just all dependent on how good your RC charge is. Now there are certain bases where this army can struggle, like diamond style bases that are anti-thrower, or maybe I just haven't figured out the crack to those diamond style bases yet. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you are new, as it does help me out so much, especially since I'm trying to become a verified Supercell creator. And that's one of my quests is I have to get a certain amount of subscribers and certain amount of views, certain amount of watch time. So your guys' support really does help me out so much. It helps me out tremendously. Um, what kind of videos would you guys like to see? Would you guys like to keep seeing the more Legends Day type videos? Would you guys like some more uh, unrelated content to Legends League, but still Clash related? What kind of content would you guys like to see? And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. All right, take it easy. Peace.